Good morning and welcome to another video. This week, obviously most of the UK is going into lockdown or some version of, and so I've walked literally 5 minutes from my house and I'm going to have a little go with something that I've never done before, and that is intentional camera movement photography. Milton Keynes has got some lovely sort of green spaces managed by a charity called the Parks Trust. So literally I can walk a few minutes from my house and I'm sort of got some beautiful scenery around me. So I'm taking a little walk along a brook that's quite near to my home, and then I may just finish up in a little bit of woodland that's about 15 minutes from here and just try and have a go with some intentional camera movement or ICM photography as we move along. So travelling quite lightly, got my Nikon Z6 as usual. And I've also got some of these, which are ND filters. So I'm not 100% sure, never done it before, but I'm thinking because I'm going to need some sort of 2 or 3 second exposures, we're going to be using some filters just to extend those exposure times. So let's go, let's find some compositions and see if we can get some nice shots. Anyway, so first shot of the day, I've got these lovely sort of reeds behind me. And next to a little cascade here along the brook in Milton Keynes. So what I'm going to be doing is setting my camera up so that I want to just capture some of that movement where they're blowing in the wind. So I think it's around a 2 second exposure. I've had to go to f22 because of the sun sort of pokes its head out behind the clouds. And ISO, I've dropped that right down to ISO 50. Just so I can get that sort of exposure, and I'm just experimenting really just to capture it. So what I've actually been doing is holding the camera steady for a moment or two and then moving it really quickly, so that I'm hoping what I'll get is some of the reeds showing in focus and some of it sort of out of focus and blurry. Anyway, if it's any good, I'm going to pop it up on screen now, and maybe you could put a little comment in and let me know what you think. Thanks a lot. So one of the good things about doing ICM or in-camera motion photography is you can do it pretty much anywhere. It doesn't, I'm out in sort of a bit of local woodland and a little bit of local green space, but doesn't matter. You could do it in the city, anywhere. Just look for some contrasts, look for some interesting colours, and just experiment and have a bit of fun. That's all there is to it. Okay, so I think I found my first composition, which is these sort of lovely yellow and brown leaves behind me. Just got an awesome sort of texture and pattern to them. So I've got my camera set to approximately 1.3 seconds, f13, and I've got an ND8, so a 3-stop filter on there just to help slow down my shutter speed for me. ISO 100, trying to shoot with my base ISO just to, again, keep that shutter speed as long as possible. I'm going to just sort of experiment with some different movement patterns really. Like I said, I've never done this before, so I'm sort of thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to go sort of up, and then I'm going to try some going across like this, and I will also try doing some where I sort of just move around like this, or maybe even just swoosh the camera around really wildly. I sort of feel like this is something new. I'm just going to experiment. I'm just going to have some fun today. At the end of the day, that's what photography is about, isn't it? It's about getting out and having a bit of fun. I saw a video with Adam Gibbs actually, and I think he was saying he was out in the forest, and he was doing a bit of ICM actually as well, and he was saying about how he'd forgotten to bring some bear spray because he was out in the States. Now, luckily, I'm not going to face that problem in Milton Keynes. I think quite possibly the worst thing I'm going to come across is a squirrel, maybe a badger. Okay, so behind me, I found this sort of really densely packed, tight group of trees. It's got some nice straight vertical trunks. So I think what I'm going to be doing is getting my camera and following them up quite slowly. Just try and capture some of those autumnal colours that are in the background as well. So I think the contrast here could be quite nice. I'll have the yellows and the browns from the leaves in the background, but also the darker browns from the trunks as I move upwards. And there's some sort of gentle swaying in the wind as well. So I'm sort of hoping I might even get a bit of left to right movement as I go up. So what I'm going to do, set up my camera, again ISO 100, f13 I think it is, and with an ND8 filter on there. And I think I'm going to be getting around sort of 2.5 second exposures because it's a little bit darker in this bit. Let's have a little play again. I'm going to try some different motion patterns as I did before. Get some shots and pop them up on screen now. See if you like them. Okay, so that brings my video to an end. Probably quite a short one today, but I hope you don't mind. Haven't had that long today to be able to get out and record. But yeah, my first go at doing ICM photography. So I'll just quickly recap on the things you're going to need. And that's keep your ISO quite low because you want to extend your shutter speed as long as possible, probably to sort of 2 or 3 seconds. You might need ND filters to do this. So if you get the screw-on type, just make sure you get the size that fits your lens. Yeah, and use your aperture to sort of help control your shutter speed. You know, this could actually be quite a good way of learning the exposure triangle if that's not something you're familiar with, because I think having some fundamentals in manual photography would actually be quite beneficial to doing this, I've found today. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this content, please give it a like and a subscribe and a comment. I want to keep making more videos, and your subscriptions and likes and comments, they all help me bring this stuff to you. So anyway, I'm going to head home now, see the kids, and I'll see you next time. Take care and goodbye.